22. K, Ilio. To converse. Pia. Where are you? The voice of Aloy awakened me from an afternoon sleep. I rubbed my eyes and considered ignoring his call. But Aloy was persistent. Through the window I saw him hopping impatiently from one foot to the other. I knew he would not go away, so I got up and went outside. The woman, said Aloy. She wants to see you. Kiona? Is she in trouble? Is Makanui sick? Not the old woman. Malia, the wife of the constable. She said to come now. I was confused. Malia was not the kind of woman who ordered others around. Aloy did not wait for me to ask questions. I am telling you the truth, he said. I began walking toward Malia's house, but when I heard Aloy following me, I decided to take Maui instead. I could ride behind you, said Aloy. I don't need your help. But I brought you this message, he said. So let me ride your horse. I knew Aloy was only curious about what Malia wanted. Well, I said to myself, Aloy does not need to know everything. And the rest of the settlement doesn't either. I put my left foot into the stirrup and brought my right one over Maui's hind parts. I settled into the saddle and gave Aloy a nod as I flicked the reins. I had a horse, too, Aloy called after me. In Hawaii, everyone has a horse, I said. But you do not have one on Molokai, do you? For a moment I enjoyed having something that Aloy wanted. But the pleasure of it turned sour as I thought of him standing there watching me ride away like a selfish haole. I had become a foreigner myself since coming to Molokai, someone I did not understand. But of course, this settlement was like a foreign land. Ahead of me in the grass, near Kiona's hut, I saw Malia. She waved and ran to meet me. I slapped the reins lightly and let Maui amble through the coarse grasses with their waving seed heads. When I came to a rock wall, I stopped and waited for Malia. I saw that she carried a small object in her hand. It was the Catholic book I'd given back to her. Malia leaned over the wall and grabbed Maui's reins. Oh, Pia. I had to tell you. When I realized my book was gone I thought God had left me. When you brought it back, I knew he was here after all. I wish I could get the other books for you, but Boki has them. Don't worry about it, said Malia. Books would make the days go better, but at least my family sends newspapers. And my catechism I missed it most. She pulled the book to herself. She put her face into its open pages and closed her eyes. She was like a hungry little girl inhaling the scent of a roasted sweet potato. How could this book mean so much? I looked at the book, I said. I don't see why it's so good. Oh, I'll show you, said Malia. Listen. She opened the book and searched for a passage. Here it is. She read softly as if God himself were listening. Our Father who art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. I had learned the same prayer in my Protestant church. But it didn't comfort me here on Molokai. Malia continued reading. Give us this day our daily bread. What good did it do to ask for bread in Kalawao? If the Christians in this place were getting their prayers answered, I could not see it. They were as hungry as the rest of us. And forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Forgive? I did not want to forgive. And I did not much care to be forgiven. Malia paused to look at me. I suppose she could see that her book did not comfort me. Pia, she said. God is all we have left now. He is the only one who will help us here. I didn't want to argue. So I just said, since you like it so much, I'm glad I brought it back. Malia climbed over the rock wall and sat down to explain. When I got leprosy I was terrified. I knew I would have to leave my family. I knew Kameko was afraid of my disease. Then Kamiano gave me this book and it said what I felt. Listen. She searched through her book for some other precious words, but the breeze tossed the pages one way as Malia turned them the other. She brushed strands of her long hair away from her face. I wasn't sure I wanted to hear more of her book, so I tried to distract her. Who is Kamiano? I asked. Malia stopped her searching. Kamiano, she whispered and her deep brown eyes went bright. Mekuakamiano is a priest in Kohala. His Haole name is Father Damien. He is the one who brought God's aloha to me. Father Damien? I was sure this was the priest that Boki had talked about. He had said his mother loved the priest like he was part of her ohana. But I had no fondness for a Catholic priest. Oh, I said. A priest? And how did he give you God's aloha? Malia held the book close as if she thought God's love was kept between its covers. Kamiano showed me what God's love is like, she said. He left his home across the ocean to live among us. Just as we are cut off from our families, he is separated from his. I shrugged. What did I care about this Kamiano choosing to leave his family? As far as I was concerned, he could go back to where he came from. Strangers from all over the world choose to come here, I said. In Hawaii the scenery is so splendid and fish and fruit are so plentiful that they don't want to leave again. Is this such a sacrifice for your priest? Malia nodded. Yes, it is, Pia. Kamiano does not live a life of ease. Every day he works hard, building churches and teaching us about God. He climbs up and down our poly walls and crosses dangerous waters to reach our people. I thought about the words in Malia's book, about our Lord descending into hell. Oh, I said. But he would never descend the poly here. I pointed to the green cliffs that rose above us, separating our peninsula from the rest of Molokai Island. Kamiano would not cross the stormy waters off Kalawao. He would not bring God's aloha to this place, would he? Pia, many people depend on Kamiano. He couldn't just leave them to come here. Of course not, I said. Your Catholics send a priest for short visits, and the Reverend Forbes visits the Church of the Healing Spring. But no healthy minister will come here to live. Not even your Father in heaven could live here. Malia sighed. You are like Kameka, she said. No. I argued. I dug my knees into Maui's side, and my startled horse began to back away from the rock wall. I am not like Kameka. I blocked out the image of my younger self swimming in the ocean, climbing on the mountains, straining to be just like him. Instead, I thought of other memories of me waiting in the hospital, of Kameka watching from the top of Diamond Head while the steamer hauled me away. I will never be like Kameka, I declared. Yes, said Malia sadly. You are like Kameka. You speak of God as my God as if you do not believe in him but still you are angry with him. The cliffs of Molokai are not your prison, Pia. Your anger is your prison. I liked Malia, but not when she talked like this. If anger was my prison, I welcomed its walls. My anger made me alert. It kept me from expecting things and being disappointed when they didn't happen. I would not stop being angry. I would not let Kameka sneak back into my life. I turned to Malia. I will be your friend, Malia, but don't expect me to forgive Kameka. Then I backed Maui away from the rock wall and turned him toward the trail that ran along the cliffs of Molokai. But Malia's words about God's love followed me. And I couldn't get the name of her priest out of my head. Mekuakamiano Father Damien Mekuakamiano.